Have you ever wondered if any monster myths could be real? Across cultures and throughout history, tales of fantastical creatures have captivated the imagination of young and old alike. These stories, often dismissed as mere folklore, sometimes hold a kernel of truth rooted in the natural world. From eerie occurrences to bizarre animals, the line between myth and reality is sometimes thinner than we think. As we delve deeper, we'll discover just how these myths could have stemmed from real-life phenomena. Stay tuned as we unveil the truth behind these fascinating myths. Imagine an ant turned into a zombie by a fungus. This isn't the plot of a horror movie. It's a chilling reality in the world of entomology. The culprit is the Ophiocordyceps fungus, a rather unassuming parasite that targets ants. Once infected, the fungus hijacks the ant's central nervous system, compelling it to climb to a high point on a plant. In its final, manipulated throes, the ant clamps down onto a leaf or twig with a death grip. As the fungus continues to grow, it consumes the ant from the inside out, eventually sprouting a long stalk out of the ant's head, releasing spores to infect other unsuspecting ants. This gruesome cycle perpetuates the fungus's life at the expense of the ant. The parallels to zombie myths are uncanny. Like the Walking Dead of folklore, these ants are controlled, their bodies puppeteered by an external force. It's a stark reminder of nature's complexity and perhaps its macabre sense of creativity. This real-life scenario might just give zombies a run for their money in the horror department. Why did witches supposedly ride brooms? This intriguing image of a witch soaring through the night sky on a broomstick is not just a product of modern fantasy, but stems from deep historical roots. The broom, often a humble household tool, is believed to have held significant symbolic value in pagan rituals, where it was used to purify and protect spaces from evil spirits. During the medieval period, this imagery possibly intertwined with the widespread fear and fascination with witchcraft. As paganism mingled with emerging Christian doctrines, the broomstick became a symbol of a witch's ability to defy the natural laws, bridging the earthly and the supernatural. This was a time when ordinary objects could gain extraordinary meanings, and the broom was no exception. It's fascinating to consider how these myths might have been shaped by misinterpretations or deliberate exaggerations of real events. Were these stories a way to explain the unexplainable, or perhaps a method to control or vilify certain groups or beliefs? Perhaps the broom was not just a tool for cleaning, but a symbol misunderstood through the ages. Could werewolves walk among us? Imagine a world where legends leap off the pages and into reality. In the annals of myth, the werewolf is a creature of the night, transforming under the full moon's glow. But could there be a sliver of truth to these tales? Enter hypertrichosis, an exceedingly rare condition, sometimes called Werewolf Syndrome. This genetic anomaly triggers abnormal hair growth, covering the face and body of those affected, mirroring the fabled werewolf's appearance. Just a handful of people on the planet manifest this condition today, but their stories are poignant reminders of how myths can spring from very real human conditions. Throughout history, medical oddities have often been misunderstood, sparking legends of monsters and myths. Hypertrichosis may have stirred whispers in medieval villages of cursed men and women, shrouded not just in hair but in mystery and fear. These stories, while steeped in superstition, underscore our perennial attempt to make sense of the unusual or the unexplained in human nature. The line between myth and medical reality is sometimes as thin as a hair. Did dragons ever exist? Imagine a creature soaring through the skies, its body catching the sunlight as it glides from tree to tree. This isn't a scene from a medieval fantasy, but a glimpse into the life of the Draco lizard. Found in the forests of Southeast Asia, this remarkable reptile has ribs that extend into wing-like flaps of skin, allowing it to glide up to 10 meters between trees. The Draco lizard, with its dragon-like appearance, sheds light on how some of our most fantastical myths might have roots in the natural world. Ancient people, encountering such extraordinary creatures, could have woven stories of mighty dragons flying through vast skies, their tales passed down through generations, gradually morphing into the mythical dragons we know today. So while the fire-breathing dragons of lore might not have roamed the earth, their real-life counterparts, like the Draco lizard, remind us that nature itself is no less magical. Not all dragons breathe fire, some just glide through the trees. Unicorns, pure fantasy, or could they be real? Imagine wandering through a misty forest and catching a glimpse of a creature with a single, spiraling horn projecting from its forehead. It sounds like a scene from a fairy tale, right? Yet, in the natural world, this sight isn't entirely a product of fiction. In the realm of genetics, anomalies occasionally give rise to animals that bear an uncanny resemblance to the mythical unicorn. Take, for instance, certain species of goats and deer. Every so often, due to unique genetic mutations, these creatures are born with a single horn. While typically these animals have two horns or antlers, a developmental quirk can result in them merging into one. These real-life unicorns are not just fascinating biological curiosities. They're also likely the sparks that ignited age-old legends. Imagine ancient peoples coming across a deer or goat with a solitary horn. Wouldn't that be enough to fuel stories of magical horned beings roaming the forests? In nature's vast canvas, even unicorns find a place, albeit in a slightly different form. So, what have we learned about the monsters of myth? From zombie ants controlled by a sinister fungus to witches soaring the skies, each tale we've explored connects back to real-life phenomena. The rare genetic condition mirroring werewolf legends, dragons inspired by gliding lizards, and animals born with a single horn all show how myths are not just fabrications, but reflections of the natural world, wrapped in the fantastical. These stories, passed down through generations, not only entertain but also preserve a piece of our understanding of nature and humanity. Next time you hear a monster story, remember, there might just be a hint of truth hidden within those tales of terror and wonder.